One of the main defeats of the aviation industry during the pandemic was the much-loved SuperJumbo, Airbus A380. And while many key airlines like Air France and Lufthansa most likely will not fly the jet in the future, which airlines will? In this video, we'll look at the airlines across the world that are still committed to flying the largest passenger jet in the world. Stay tuned. Before I dive into this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. More great aviation content is on the way, and the easiest way you can support the channel is by pressing that red button down below. 97.9% of you still are not subscribed, so let's see if we can get that number higher by next week. Listen to the end of this video to hear about an exclusive opportunity to get access to our Discord server with shoutouts, giveaways, and more. The Airbus A380 was a revolutionary aircraft. The extraordinary engineering that made it possible to technically fit 800 passengers into one plane made it a lucrative airplane in high-demand markets with limited aircraft slots. Using the plane to shuffle passengers from one hub to another and then rerouting them to their final destination was a plus, and the A380 was the most efficient way to do it with the highest demand for passenger traffic. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic rendered ultra-high capacity jumbo jets unnecessary and expensive to fly. Ultimately, the A380 was no longer profitable for most airlines and routes during the most lasting effects of the pandemic. But what about the future? Which airlines will keep the jet and which will retire the jet early? Well, we already know of some airlines that have firmly stated that the A380 will not return. Two of the most significant are Air France and Qatar Airways. But let's look at some of the airlines that are going to fly the jet in the years to come. One of the most significant airlines that comes to mind is Emirates. Emirates has historically been one of the most committed A380 customers, with over 100 of the SuperJumbo in its fleet. Emirates may keep the jet for a long time, and could possibly be the last operator of the type in the future. Many can speculate that the high-capacity 777Xs that they have on order could replace the A380s on high-capacity routes in and out of their hub in Dubai. British Airways is another A380 customer that is still committed to flying it in the future. They put 12 of the type in storage and have repeatedly said that they're still committed to flying the A380 out of their hub at London Heathrow. British Airways may be the only European airline to commit to flying the Airbus in the future. Both Air France and Lufthansa have made immediate plans to retire the jet. Qantas also grounded their entire A380 fleet during the pandemic, but their CEO, Alan Joyce, has promised that the A380 will be returning in the near future. All of the airline's A380s are currently stored, but with maintenance nearby, can be back in the sky in about 3 months once they've been pulled from storage. Qantas has said that the A380 will have a place in their long-haul fleet once demand comes back close to pre-COVID levels, probably between 2023 to 2024. The A380's future in Korean aviation also seems bright, and with the pending merger of Korean Airlines and Asiana Airlines, will be the second largest fleet of the A380. Korean has stated they will continue to utilize the SuperJumbo on high-demand routes out of and into Seoul, but will plan to start retiring them in 5 years and will pass on those routes most likely to their 747-8s that will fly for another 5 years according to the airline. The future of the A380 in Korea seems to be bright for the next few years, but will eventually be phased out in favor of smaller and more efficient wide-bodies. The final airline we'll cover in today's video is Singapore Airlines. Singapore Airlines used to have a large fleet of A380s, with 19 of them being based in their hub at Changi International Airport in Singapore. They've retired 7 of them and are still committed to flying 12 of the type in the future. They've been undergoing maintenance and upgrades recently and will receive Singapore Airlines' new cabin with a new first class included on the second deck. Investing in a new expensive interior for the jet shows that they are still committed to the SuperJumbo and should be flying the jet for some time in the future. Ultimately, while the A380 may not be frequenting the skies very much recently, many airlines across the world are committed to flying it for the next 5 or so years. There is still time for the SuperJumbo, especially for airlines like Emirates or British Airways. What do you think? Are you excited to see the A380 fly frequently again? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like. And if you're interested in supporting the channel and getting extra perks, earlier access to videos, access to our exclusive Discord community with giveaways and more, check out channel memberships by clicking the join button right next to the subscribe button down below. All new members also get a customized shoutout in a video, so make sure to consider becoming a member. That's it for this video. I'll see you in the next.